The Braves rediscovered their recipe for success with a pinch of sage to start and a heaping helping of maple. Ozzie, a line drive, and that stayed fair. A shot right field, hammered to left field. Look at that ball go! It's a home run for Dansby. High fly ball, deep right field. One and at bat for Freeman. Mix it all up for another dramatic win. Tonight's entree, Ian Anderson's high cheese and extra spicy changeup. The Braves hope to feast on the Cubs again. They want a pizza, the Cubbies. Next on Bally Sports. Baseball is brought to you by Truist. Yes, indeed, it's an extra spicy night at Truist Park. A big crowd filing in for Game 2 of 4 as the Braves take on the Chicago Cubs. Last night, a sight for sore eyes. The Braves' bats came to life. Big home runs, big at-bats. They scored 8 times, had double digits in hits. And oh, yes, that old sage, Dansby Swanson, had a hand in that as well. Chip Carey, Tom Glavine, great to be back at the ballpark where the Braves try to make it 2 in a row over the Cubs in this series, Tommy. And we say it all the time, a team's momentum is directly related to the next day's starting pitcher, and today the Braves have a good one going in Game 2.
Yeah, they sure do. Look, Ian Anderson's been great. He's coming off a great start his last time out against the Yankees up at Yankee Stadium. 6 2/3 innings of scoreless ball, and first Braves pitcher to get into the 7th inning this year. You see what a great start he's been off to, and it makes me wonder why Alex Anthopoulos didn't listen to us last year when we kept saying we need to call this guy up. Clearly we knew what he was, and here he is. So look for him to go out there tonight, Chip, and just give a steady diet of high cheese and spicy changeups.
I love it. It sounds like an appetizer or the entree. We'll find out which is which as the Braves and Cubs meet in Game 2 of the series. It's a big night for Braves baseball. Perfect night for baseball. We're going to mix things up. We'll get you started with lineups and first pitch right after the break. It is warming up in Atlanta here at Truist Park. Temperature 80 degrees at first pitch. Light winds out of the south at 6 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies. Perfect night for the Braves to make it 2 in a row over David Ross and his Chicago Cubs, whose Toyota starting lineup, Tommy, is missing 2 very important parts. Javi Baez out with a hamstring problem. Chris Bryant, who hit a grand slam last night, out with a sore biceps. And offense has been at times a problem for Chicago. Mowing down offenses has not been a problem for Ian Anderson, as you so spicily showed us in our open after his first 10 big league starts.
Yeah, off to a good start again this year. 1-0 with a 3.27, coming off a real good start last time out against the Yankees. 6 2/3, 4 strikeouts, no runs. So look for him to go out there tonight and continue to do the same things.
First time he's faced the Chicago Cubs. He'll take a peek at Nico Horner. Their shortstop is off to a good start. And Anderson right over the top, and we are underway with ball 1. Horner 6 hits in his first 14 at-bats. No homers, 3 RBIs for Horner, and a slow roller hit toward Riley. He'll have to hurry. Gloves, grabs, guns, and fires a strike to first. Good play for Austin Riley. And Anderson gets the ball on the ground. I'm sure, Tommy, something you'd like to see a lot of tonight as we investigate your 4 keys.
Absolutely. Our 4 keys for tonight: repeat performance. Offense had a great night last night. A lot of great at-bats. Dansby opposite field homer. Freddie big homer. And 4 score. When the Cubbies score 4 or more, they're 8-2. Less than 4, they're 2-10. So, Ian, keep it under 4.
Know who those 2 losses are against?
Who?
The Braves.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I should have known that. I was here last night.
That was one of them. You weren't in Chicago for the other one. Neither were we. But yeah, that was a rare occurrence last night. Chicago's offense came to life, but they fell a run short as the Braves beat them 8-7. Despite the heroics of Wilson Contreras, who hit a ball about as far as you'll see in this park.
Yeah, one of those ones that just had a different sound right off the get-go.
Originally listed at 491 feet, but then StatCast adjusted to a mere 456 feet. For his 7th home run, 15 RBIs, that's most among all big league catchers. Those power numbers. And Anderson gets a big swing and a miss. It's a ball and 2 strikes. You know all about Ian. He's got a really good fastball, but his off-speed stuff, Tom, is just deadly.
Yeah, his changeup is, you know, on the scouting scale, it's a plus pitch for him. Good movement, good arm speed on it, fools the hitters, and he can locate it.
And that breaking ball was off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. One issue for the Cubs is they are a club that doesn't make a lot of consistent contact, especially Baez. This guy, Contreras, strikes out about 1 every 3 at bats. And make it 1 for 1 tonight. Anderson heats him up upstairs. 2 up, 2 down. His first strikeout. 24 of them now, Tom, as he gets ready to conclude his 23rd inning.
Yeah, and he likes to go there for strikeouts, and he likes to go to the changeup for strikeouts there. And I think that's what the hitters obviously have the tough task of trying to figure out. Is he going to go to that changeup, or is he going to go with the high fastball? Out of the hand, that might look like a changeup, hanging changeup maybe, but that fastball is by him.
So Anderson's got all of his weapons working in the first couple of sequences of the game. David Bodie, the second baseman, is the batter. Bodie went 0 for 3 last night, and he takes a breaking ball. Strike 1. We said it last night. These two clubs are similar in so many ways. Their offenses have gotten out of the gates very slowly. Their starting pitching has not been as solid as their managers would like. And both enter play today with 10 and 12 records. David Ross's club has been streaky, as have been the Braves. The Cubs now riding a 3-game losing streak. They've dropped 3 of the first 4 head to head with the Braves. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's that change.
Yeah, it's just such a good pitch. He's had confidence in it from the day he got to the big leagues, and it just continues to grow.
With his grandmother watching him pitch in the big leagues for the first time in his last start in New York, Ian went 6 2/3 innings, no runs. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. 3 up, 3 down, back-to-back strikeouts. Anderson continues to roll. 25 strikeouts for Ian in 23 innings pitched. The Braves go to work. No score after a half inning at Truist Park. Well, the Braves have scored more first-inning runs than any team in the major leagues. Ronald Acuna Jr. is a big part of that. He's set to lead off for Atlanta in the bottom of the first inning. When you score 8 runs on 10 hits the night before, you don't bother changing your Toyota starting lineup. That's why Brian Snitker is so smart. And you know Freddie Freeman's itching to continue his hot hitting. A 3-run homer for the Braves last night. They look to gain a measure of revenge against Trevor Williams, who beat the Braves April 17th up at Wrigley Field. He got a ton of offensive support.
Yeah, 2-1 on the year. His last start out, he got a no decision against the Mets. 5 innings, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts. As you mentioned, the Braves game, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, earned run, but lots of help.
Ronald Acuna's last hit was April 17th against the Cubs in that game pitched by Trevor Williams. He walked a couple of times, was hit by a pitch last night for Atlanta. And Williams misses upstairs for an even count. One issue for Chicago is their starting staff. It's a different looking staff. No Yu Darvish, no Tyler Chatwood, no John Lester, and as a result, the new names they've brought in, nobody's taking the ball very deep, which puts a ton of pressure on David Ross's bullpen.
Yeah, which is why when you look at these two teams and you mentioned the similarities in numbers, I think that's the one area that makes you feel better about where the Braves are.
Strike 3 called. Throws Acuna at the top of the zone.
You know, their starting pitching is going to get better. You know that. The Cubbies are hoping somebody's going to step up.
We didn't introduce Freddie Freeman because he has new walk-up music tonight. And you saw that lovely mother and son. That's Freddie's wife Chelsea and his son Charlie. Ni Bien Ni Mal by Bad Bunny is Charlie's favorite song, so Freddie used it as his walk-up music for the game, and he's rewarded with a base hit to the right center field gap. Over quickly is Marisnick, and Freddie Freeman has the first hit of the day for the Braves. He's starting to heat up, folks.
I was going to say, after a 3-run home run last night, a great at-bat, like you said, with Snit's lineup, you don't change anything. Well, Charlie, I'm going to come find you if Freddie has a bad game tonight. I'm sorry. But he's off to a good start.
I have a feeling Freddie's going to keep that music if he keeps hitting.
I would say so.
Well, here's a guy Braves need to get going. Marcell Ozuna. 1 for 5 last night, a 185 average. And hitless in his last 13 tries. And a line drive right to the shortstop. Freeman too far off the bag. Gets hit with the throw.
Smart base running there.
David Bodie saying Freddie Freeman ran out of the baseline to get back to the bag, and he should be called out. But you can see the second base umpire had a great look at it. Freddie just ran back to the bag and wore the baseball in the backside.
Ooh. They hit him in the elbow? I hope not.
The right side under the ribs. That's smarted. So he's aboard for Ozzie with 2 outs. And that skips up there. Snap throw back to first. Freeman is safely there. You will see Contreras behind the plate show off the arm. He's got a cannon back there. He likes to throw the baseball. So the Braves base runners have to be on their toes if they wander too far off. Williams in his first year with the Cubs after 6 years with the Pirates. Originally a Marlins. Farmhand, the pitch. Needs a corner, even count.
Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup for Williams. 90 to 93. Predominantly fastball, slider.
That's rolled by the Braves dugout. Ozzie behind now. A ball and 2 strikes. Braves have seen Williams a handful of times before. He's 1-0 with a .250 earned run average over 4 career starts. No major differences in lefty-righty splits for him this year. And a .466 ERA, one of the better ERAs for the Cubs starting staff. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Ozzie. Freeman leads the pitch. Down and in. He evens it up. The Braves hit the road after this series. The Cubs move on to Cincinnati to play the Reds. As they continue their road trip, the pitch. And Ozzie down to a knee, didn't get a slider, and across the shoe tops he goes down on strikes, and both starters with a pair of whiffs in a scoreless first inning. Well, you don't see Freddie Freeman too often not throw the ball around the infield. That's exactly what happened during our commercial break, and you see how gingerly he tosses that baseball back into the dugout. Running the bases, he got hit on, it looked like, the right side. May have gotten a bit of the funny bone too. And while he was on the base paths, he was trying to explain to Anthony Rizzo where he got hit, trying to get some feeling in the hand and the forearm. And then when he came out for his spot defensively, he flipped the ball to Ozzie Albies, Tom, and had him throw infield practice.
Yeah, let's hope it is just that he got hit in the funny bone and just got the little bit of the tingles going on.
And Tom was asking, and you're right, Tom, he had some fragments in the elbow taken out. That's the right elbow, the one that just got plunked.
Yeah, let's hope it's not that.
Rizzo on the ground. Ozzie Albies will make short work of Rizzo, who jogs to first. 4 up, 4 down for Anderson. Anderson's going to get his strikeouts with his really good stuff. When he's really on, you expect lots of plays like that one. Ground ball outs.
Yeah, it gets a lot of ground balls. 64% ground ball rate against right-handed hitters. Rizzo obviously left-handed there, but that is a big part of his game.
Matt Duffy gets the start at third base tonight. .269 average for Duffy. No homers, 3 RBIs. As we told you last night, Cubs have had 4 different men play third base this year. Chris Bryant's not there tonight. Told you he's got a sore biceps. He played left field last night, and he is a free agent. So the Cubs might be doing a little self-scouting to see who could play third if they move Chris Bryant to the deadline. Way high, evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, after that high cheese, I'm guessing we're going to see a spicy changeup right here.
That's right. I meant to ask you about that. With the bases empty and Jason Hayward on deck. Now there are regular changeups, there are spicy changeups, and you were talking about the extra spicy changeup.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've never heard it referred to as spicy. So I just thought I'd take it a step further and go extra spicy. So and there was one right there. See, Duffy didn't know whether to look for the spicy one or the extra spicy one.
89's got to be extra spicy if it's a changeup. Look at that circle change and a beauty. Third strikeout.
I love it. Just right on top of the ball, downhill with it, pulls down through it. Just such a good pitch for him.
Jason Hayward always gets a nice cheer when he comes back to his hometown to face the Braves. Of course, Jason debuted with Atlanta, as we said last night, 11 years ago. That's just not possible.
God, that's hard to believe.
And electrified a Turner Field crowd against these Cubs. The first swing he took as a major leaguer was a home run off Carlos Zambrano, and the ballpark went crazy. Jason's got a world title, won that with the Cubs in 2016. As this one's popped up behind the plate, I would think facing a guy like Ian Anderson, if you believe the numbers that exist on Hayward's year, be a tough matchup. Hayward does not have a hit yet against a breaking ball or an off-speed pitch yet this season.
Yeah, and you're facing a guy who's got one of the best changeups in the game at the moment, so you can expect to get a pretty steady diet of those. Got a fastball up there, fouled it off. See if they go back to soft down. Nope, took another shot up, which is good. I mean, you know, that talk about pitch sequencing. That's how you get people off of what your tendencies are sometimes, is every once in a while just double up on a pitch, you know, and Ian did it right there on the high fastball. See now if he comes back with the changeup.
Beaten into the ground. That is going to stay fair. Freddie Freeman shovels to first. Anderson's at the bag. And that will retire the side. 3 up, 3 down in the second. Still scoreless. Baseball brought to you by Truist. Perfect night in Atlanta. Gentle breeze blowing. Braves played a great game last night. They start action a game and a half behind the Mets in the East. And now they'll send Travis d'Arnaud, Dansby Swanson, and Austin Riley to the mound against Trevor Williams. Great to have our Bally Sports crew with you, providing all the pictures and sounds at the ballpark. Kelly Kroll is here. We'll hear from her in just a little while. As Williams turns it loose, and d'Arnaud, an aggressive hitter, fouls the first one out of play for a strike.
Yeah, he loves that first pitch. I'm surprised so many teams throw him first pitch fastballs, knowing that he's up there hacking, but they do.
Travis had a multi-hit game last night, drove in a couple of first inning runs. And boy, that first inning, the Sage aside, look, we've had some fun with that, as did Brian Snitker and Dansby Swanson. But just getting that first inning out of the way after what happened against Arizona, I thought was really big for the club.
Oh, no question. Look, I mean, you know, like I said, It was not a must-win yesterday, but they sure needed a win. They needed to do some things to kind of get out of the rut they were in. And look, it doesn't matter if it's April or the dog days of summer. There are stretches where you can just kind of get in a funk.
Paint job over the outside corner. 3 strikeouts for Williams, 1 out.
And I think for the Braves, obviously they were in that funk, and that's not to say that anybody was panicked. Those guys aren't panicked. They know they're professionals. They're going about their business. But, you know, like I said, every now and then you just need a little bit something to change the mojo. And I agree with you. I think that first inning last night went a long way.
Yeah, I talked with Dansby about that before the game yesterday down in the camera well. And he said the game against Arizona was so crazy, so ridiculous with this offense. And I want to be careful how this is interpreted. He said all you could do at that point was really laugh because it was so unexpected, taking nothing away from what Gallen or Bumgarner did. But it truly was one of those days where nothing was going to go right. You had to put it aside the way that the Braves did and have some fun with it, acknowledge it, and then move forward, which they did with 8 runs last night.
No, and look, you're right. And I think that's the nature of this game sometimes, right? And like I said last night, sometimes it's not as ugly as it looks when it's going bad, but it's equally not as good as it looks when it's going really good.
Right back where it came from, and Dansby's starting to use the middle of the field. A comebacker has Atlanta's second hit, and Dansby has 3 hits in the first 2 games of the series.
Yeah, and you love to see him hitting the ball up the middle and hitting it the other way like he did last night. Got another breaking ball. Stayed up the middle. Good piece of hitting. But, you know, again, everybody, we all have a tendency to panic when our team's not playing the way you want them to play. But I thought that was an interesting segment that Peter and Brian were talking about in the pregame when you talk. If you want to look at analytics and digest some of those numbers, sometimes the Braves have one of the highest exit velocities in the game. But then you look at their batting averages and it doesn't translate, right? So I think for them, those are the kinds of things they look at and say, okay, look, we're hitting the ball hard. We're just not getting hits. You continue to hit the ball hard, you're going to get hits. It's going to go your way sooner or later.
Yeah, I was going to say, if the law of averages evens out, that the Braves have about 30 games of good luck coming their way soon. And hopefully Riley will have a hand in that as he digs in and takes a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Austin Riley's bat has come to life. He had a hit in the 3rd inning last night. He's up to 246. Look, some of these averages don't sound like much, but considering, Tom, where they were a week ago, there is drastic improvement offensively.
Yeah, and you know, that's, I guess you get off to a slow start, it's no fun. But if you're gonna have a stretch like that, you do it early in the year because you have a couple of good games and your batting average goes up real fast. So you're starting to see guys do that. Austin Riley certainly in the middle of that. He's raised his average a ton.
And with that in mind, let's take a look at our Bringing the Lumber feature presented by Yellowwood. Those hard hit balls hopefully will start to add up and turn into positive results.
Yeah, see, as I said, the Braves leading in exit velocity, so it tells you they're hitting the ball hard. Ronald Acuna 95, almost 96. Freddie 93. So, you know, those guys are hitting the ball hard. It's just not translating into hits yet. It will.
Yeah, Dansby's single was 104 miles an hour off the bat. There's a shot to right. Hayward's going to have to play that one off the fence. Dansby cuts the bag at second, on his way to third. They're going to stop him as Hayward gets it into Rizzo. Austin Riley with a double with 1 out. And Atlanta's in business in the second and third against Trevor Williams. That is Riley's first double of the year.
Yeah, and great to see him going the other way, too. Got a fastball a little bit up. Stayed inside it. Drove it into right field. Pretty piece of hitting.
So for the Cubs, pick your poison now. Heredia is the 8th place hitter. You've got Ian Anderson, the pitcher. If you choose to go after the pitcher in this spot, then you've got Acuna waiting on deck.
Well, and I think that more than anything dictates they're going to try and go after Heredia here and then try and get Ian Anderson and see Ronald next inning.
Breaking ball is taken low. 1 ball, no strikes. Heredia saved his best work for Chicago pitching. 5 hits, 2 homers, 7 RBIs against the Cubs. And he is wearing out right-handed pitching, which is what he's facing in this spot in Trevor Williams. Braves this year hitting .224 with runners in scoring position. Chance to improve on that with Heredia. Good eye. Good, smart play by Heredia. So, pitcher next. Green light.
I don't think I do.
Okay.
I don't think I do here. You know, I'd be surprised if they give him anything to hit now. I'd get behind in the count now. You're going to be careful and maybe take your chances with Ian.
And look at where Contreras set up. The hitter couldn't see that. He was in the left-hand batter's box. And so he pitches around Heredia, and after 2 104-mile-an-hour hits, the Braves have him loaded for Ian Anderson, who does have a hit this year. He's 1 for 3.
Yeah, I mean, he's not an easy out, but I think, you know, for Williams right there, yeah, you best case scenario, you get Heredia, you get Anderson, and you save Ronald for next inning. But once he got behind Heredia, he got awful careful, and the mindset there was, okay, if I walk him, I load the bases, and you hope you can induce the pitcher into hitting a ground ball double play.
Williams stays in the stretch. And that's fouled off the catcher. 0-1. Braves batsmen on the pitching staff have done a good job helping themselves. Let's see if Anderson can do that. What you don't want's a double play. You want Acuna coming up in this inning. No balls in the strike. And now 0-2.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised, as good as Ian handles the bat, that he maybe just tried to push a bunt over to the first base side. Rizzo way back. Get a ground ball, RBI, stay out of the double play. I don't think you'll see that now with 2 strikes. I'd be surprised. That's probably what all the Cubs.
And a breaking ball retires him. That's the 4th strikeout. So Williams gets the 2nd out, but now he's got to face Acuna. And no place to put Ronald, whose, again, last hit came against the Cubs 10 days ago. Williams has not given up a 2-out run yet this year. This would be a perfect time to change that.
Well, you know, Ronald's going to be aggressive.
No swing, ball 1. That's an excellent point, Tom. We know that Acuna wants to swing the bat, but he's also been selectively aggressive. He's not just up there flailing away.
No, he's had, you know, we talked about it last night. He had a key at bat, drew a walk in front of Freddie's 3-run homer. He's done a nice job of taking what pitchers are giving him, so to speak. And that's part of the maturity process too, and especially for a guy like him who's been as hot as he has been. The tendency is, you know, you want to keep it rolling, you want to do more, but he's done a nice job of staying patient in those situations and not trying to do too much.
And just serve one to the right side of the infield where he's got a big hole. That would work just fine.
Well, this is his favorite count. 7 for 10 with 3 homers in 1-1 counts.
Oh, and he almost got hit. Acuna got plunked in the 4th inning last night. So purpose pitch, but it cost Williams ball 2. Acuna ahead in the count. 3 balls and a strike. Now it gets interesting.
Well, you know the old saying, if you threw it, 2-1, you're going to throw a 3-1, right? So I'm guessing if he didn't want to throw him a fastball in that count, he's not going to throw him one here.
A Brave at every base with 2 outs. The 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss.
Shows you what I know.
Perfect spot, though.
Yeah, and look, that's why, Ronald gets hit. That's why Ronald gets pushed off the plate and he gets frustrated. That's where pitchers try to go to get him. I mean, that's a pitch that he has a tough time with. Now, it's a really hard one to throw consistently, but that's where you got to go.
Wind picking up, pressure picking up too. Full count, a runner at every base. There they go. The pitch is popped up behind first. Rizzo, long run, foul ground. He's got room, and Williams gets out of it. The Braves load the bases with 1 out, but cannot break through in the second. Still no score. No score. Time for Kelly Kroll as we get set for the 3rd inning. Hi, Kelly.
Hey, guys. Well, Ian Anderson, last time out in New York, Grandma Beverly got to be there, and he said just yesterday that she called him the next day and told him how proud she was of that outing. And he goes, it really was a special moment for her to get to see me pitch at Yankee Stadium with all of her kids there. My entire family was there. So, and Yankee Stadium, not the new one, guys, but the old one was the first park he ever went to with his father. And as far as that outing, went on to say, I really felt like things were getting close to coming together in those first few outings. I think I executed a few more pitches, made a few less mistakes. And Tom, he goes, it's always good to get ground balls and early contact. So that definitely helped.
Oh, it's music to my ears. Ground balls and early contact.
And he's done that tonight. 3 groundouts, 3 strikeouts in 2 perfect innings. With Jake Marisnick standing in and takes a knee-high strike. 80-mile-an-hour curveball, 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And Marisnick, the former Met, is in a deep hole. Ian Anderson was truly a godsend for the Braves late last year in the COVID season. Braves were scrambling to fill their starting rotation, and he came up and pitched great for the Braves. Not only that, in the playoffs, stepped up too.
Yeah, he was not the least bit intimidated by the environment.
There's the first hit. Marisnick reached out and hit a curveball into left field, so he's aboard to start the inning.
Good piece of hitting by Marisnick there. Breaking ball, had him out in front. Was able to just kind of come around it and hook it just enough to find the hole. But I wonder too, I'd be curious, and not that these, a guy like Ian would be able to tell you because he wouldn't know. But I'm curious if the environment last year with no fans helped a lot of these young guys who got their chance last year in the big leagues to relax a little bit. I mean, it's still, trust me, you stand out on that mound for the first time and you look behind home plate and you see 3 or 4 decks. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
But when you don't have 50,000 fans screaming at you telling you stink, it's a little bit different.
Well, they didn't get to say that much to Ian. We got that going for him. 3-2 with a 1.95 ERA in the regular season. 6 innings of 2-hit ball against the Reds. 5 2/3 innings of 3-hit ball against the Marlins in the division series. And 2 games against the Dodgers, 2 runs in 7 innings. Quite a bit of growing up for the 22-year-old who turns 23 on May the 2nd. I assume it wasn't like that for you in your first big league game when you faced the Astros.
Huh. No, I mean, in that ballpark, and they were good, and it was loud. Trust me, there wasn't anything about playing in Billerica that got me ready for that.
Yeah, the 8th wonder of the world, the Astrodome in Houston. No balls, 2 strikes to Ian Happ, who's had some struggles at the plate. That's the biggest one. He is striking out a ton. That's 28 strikeouts for Happ, who's been the Cubs' leadoff hitter this year. He has not made enough consistent contact. He's been dropped in the lineup now the last couple of games, hitting 8th tonight. And that's 4 strikeouts for Anderson. Here's Williams, 1 for 6 at the plate. There's the bunt. Let's see if Freeman has any trouble throwing the ball. He doesn't. A little lob to Ozzie Albies covering. Sacrifice is good. And Horner, the hitter, with a runner at second and 2 out. Last half inning, Freddie Freeman went into the dugout, dropped his glove, went down the steps and up the tunnel. I'm sure the training staff checked him out just to make sure the elbow was all right. He's obviously still in the game. We'll see how it affects him at the plate. He's still flexing that right elbow and squeezing his hand, trying to get some feeling going.
Yeah, he didn't throw the ball at all between the last inning when he got hit. This past inning, he was at least tossing it. Wasn't much on it, but I'm guessing the feeling's coming back in his hand a little bit.
Nico Horner grounded out to third, his first time up. Horner getting some playing time because he's been effective, number 1, and number 2, Javi Baez with some hamstring issues. He's head over the top pitch, even count.
I'll tell you what, even when Javi is ready to come back and play, they got to find a spot for this kid.
Baez had a wrist problem last week, a hamstring problem, and strikeout problems all year. For Chicago, 1 ball, 1 strike. On the ground, Riley again. He'll patty cake and throw to first in time. Another ground ball out for Ian Anderson. He's got 5 of those. Braves bats go to work.
Bottom 3 we go, scoreless at Truist Park. Freddie Freeman leading off, and in case you missed it in the first inning, changing his walk-up song for the first time since 2015 for his son Charlie, and he loved it. Bad Bunny, it is Ni Bien Ni Mal, the new song, and well, it worked. The hardest hit ball of the season for Freeman there in the opening frame. And just so you guys know, they couldn't have the same Bad Bunny song. That is Charlie's favorite artist, but Kayayita is what Charlie walks up to. And I guess those T-ball games, I had no idea they had walk-up songs in T-ball, you guys, but they do. And that Charlie now gets to listen to his dad with the same artist walking up to the plate. Pretty darn cool.
Freddie Freeman swings the first one, skies it a mile high toward left, and that is playable for Ian Happ on the warning track. And Freddie's retired for the first out. I think Rizzo's telling him, hey, not bad for a guy with a sore elbow.
Yeah, a bad one-hand swing.
And I'm proud of you, Kelly. You pronounced all of those songs perfectly. Tom and I had no shot.
No, I wasn't even gonna try.
No. So 1 out for Ozuna. He had a screaming line drive to second. That was the ball that Bodie caught, and his throw was the one that clipped Freddie Freeman back at first. And this one's popped up right side. Rizzo hustling to the camera well. He won't have room. And Ozuna down a strike. Braves have 3 hits. The Cubs have 1. Atlanta left them loaded last inning. Marcel trying to snap an 0 for 14. And that skips up there for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mets are hosting Boston tonight. Miami's in Milwaukee. The Phillies are in St. Louis. And the Nationals are in Dunedin, Florida. That's what the rest of the East is up to tonight. You'll see those scores on the Bally bar at the bottom of your screen. As I mentioned, the Braves start play tonight a game and a half behind the Mets. We've said it pretty consistently for the last couple of weeks. You try to get out of April certainly better than 500 or no worse than 500, and I think the rest of the division's taking that to heart. There's only 1 team in the East with a winning record. And that's the Mets at 9-8. There's only one team in the National League East with a positive run differential. Any guesses as to who? The pitch is lined on a short hop. It's short, and Horner let that ball play him, and Ozuna's aboard with one out. We'll see how that scored. It was hit right at Nico Horner, who slammed his hand into the dirt when that ball skipped into left field.
Yeah, he wants that one back for sure.
That'll be a base hit for Ozuna. He'll take that. That snaps the 0 for 14. And a start for Ozzie Albies, who struck out and went to a knee doing so to end the first. Ground ball into the shift. They're going to have one play. That cost him a chance for two. Ozuna at second. Albies retired, and d'Arnaud's the batter. The only team in the East, by the way, with that positive run differential is the Marlins. They are +9 in runs scored so far this year.
Well, their pitching's been pretty good, so that might explain some of that.
d'Arnaud took strike 3 his first time up. Must have heard you. Didn't throw him a fastball, but he swung anyway. No balls into strike. That's something you scout, isn't it?
Oh, heck yeah. That's part of what I would want to know. Guys that are, I call them the red flag guys. The minute they get in the batter's box, they're swinging. So, you know, you're treating that like it's an 0-2 count.
Off the end of the bat, d'Arnaud down to his last strike. Braves roughed up Zach Davies last night through 3 2/3 innings, 5 runs, 6 hits. Williams up to 47 pitches, a shutout so far. First the 0-2, and he laid off a ball and 2 strikes.
Good 2-strike pitch there. Start the slider on the plate, break it off, try to get d'Arnaud to chase, but he hung on.
Give Ian Anderson a run and see how far he can roll with that. Braves have been a good 2-out scoring team this year. In fact, the best total of 2-out runs, 45 so far over the first 22 games. Ozuna's got a decent lead out at second. He'll measure off another step or two once Williams is ready. And now he is. 1 ball, 2 strikes for the Braves catcher. Fought it off.
Spoiled a good pitch there. Slider finishing off the plate. You come back with a fastball that starts in about the same spot. A little bit off the plate. Travis able to spoil it.
Marisnick in center field, shaded around toward right. No shift for d'Arnaud. And the pitch. It's an even count. Good battle here with d'Arnaud and Williams. Still 2-2. After this series, the Braves will take on the Toronto Blue Jays. And they will be playing in Dunedin, Florida. That's where the Blue Jays are playing their regular season games, at least until mid-May. Toronto's beating Max Scherzer tonight. In the early stages of that game over in the Tampa Bay area. Now Contreras is going to go out and talk it over. Try to figure out something to get by Travis d'Arnaud. The count's 2-2. Braves and Cubs scoreless in game 2 in Atlanta tonight.
Yeah, he's giving him kind of his best dose of strikeout pitches here. Slider he hasn't chased. The fastball's off the plate. He's spoiled. Lined that last pitch just fouled down the right field line. So want to get together on the same page here. Figure out how you want to try and finish this at bat off. I would think that that fastball that he threw Ronald up and in would be a good pitch right here, but don't know if that's part of what he tries to do. Looks like they're going to go away again.
And d'Arnaud took it. Full count. Better looks this second time around against Trevor Williams. Swanson on deck. High pop into shallow center. Marisnik is coming on. He says he's got it. He staggers a bit but makes the play, and that retires the side. The Braves have stranded 5 through 3 scoreless innings in game 2.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. Your local Ford dealer. And by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day.
Plenty of smiles for Ian Anderson. He has struck out 4 through 3 scoreless innings. And as we head to the 4th, we invite you to download the MLB Ballpark app, the official app of Truist Park. Access and share your tickets. Place a mobile concessions order. Use the Truist Park interactive map. Ask a question to Braves Bot and more. Visit Braves.com/ballpark app or download in your app store. 2, 3, and 4 on the lineup card for the Cubs. Starts with Contreras, who struck out his first time up, and Anderson's used his best fastballs on the Cubs catcher.
Yeah, he sure has. Good one there to start the count out with.
Nothing in 1. That home run we mentioned for Contreras last night was the 81st. That moved him past the Rebel, Randy Hundley, on the all-time Cubs homer list for catchers. This one in the air toward Freeman in foul ground, but he'll run out of real estate. Randy Hundley, a great catcher in his day, on a team that had Ron Santo, a Hall of Famer, Billy Williams, a Hall of Famer, Glenn Beckert, and so many others. Fergie Jenkins, Ernie Banks, of course. 500+ home runs. What a team that didn't get to the postseason. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's upstairs for the Cubs catcher Wilson Contreras. Chatted with him on his pregame Zoom tonight. Asked him about his brother William, and he was beaming when he talked about what Braves fans are going to look forward to. He's very excited for his younger brother, who's at the alternate site. Said he's a gamer, he's a competitor, great kid, works hard, but like so many players, Tom, his age, is dying to get to the major leagues. It's trusting the process and waiting your turn that's so hard.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, that's the hard part. When you're right there, you're 1 step away. You know, you want to hurry up and get there. Your patience kind of goes out the window a little bit.
Full count, and a line drive into center. Heredia, though, measures that up. And a hard hit ball by Contreras, though, is the first out of the 4th inning. Yeah, the capper on that conversation with Wilson was, I'm really looking forward to maybe playing against my brother. And had things worked out, if we'd had maybe a doubleheader in this series with the Cubs, William would have been here.
Yes.
As he was in the last series with Arizona. David Bodie struck out his first time up. 8 of his 11 RBIs have come in 2 games. And Anderson, after a deep count with Contreras, gets ahead of David Bodie. It is fun watching this kid pitch. Uses all 4 quadrants, up, down, in, out, changes speeds, uses all of his pitches in all 4 spots.
Well, and that's the beauty, right? He's able to use all the quadrants of the strike zone. He changes speeds, he locates, he pitches well beyond 22 years.
A spicy curveball gets Bodie. That's number 5 in the strikeout column. 2 outs.
See, they didn't have that in their scouting report. They only had spicy changeup. But that's what he does so well. Attacks the with the fastball up and down. Breaking ball there that he can locate off the plate when he wants to for a strikeout. The changeup is always a weapon. And he just, you know, like I said, for 22 years old, he's so polished and has such a good idea of what he does well and goes out there and does it.
Rizzo grounded out early in the count in the 2nd inning and takes a strike. I just love the fact that this kid, who's known for his excellent changeup, uses his fastball first.
Oh, sure. Well, that's what makes it so good, is he pitches off his fastball.
And so many guys, we've talked about it a lot, have 95 and seldom use it or don't know how to use it.
Right.
That's not the case with Ian Anderson, who, as we said, turns 23 next week. Into the shift. Dansby's right there. Rizzo will be thrown out. 3 more up, 3 more down. Braves bats go back to work with Dansby Swanson in a scoreless game. Swanson's bat coming to life, especially taking the ball up the middle and the other way. This long home run last night was our StatCast presented by Google Cloud. 410 happy feet. For Swanson, his 2nd home run of the year. He's already got a hit tonight that came off the bat at 104 miles an hour. So Dansby's good work, Tommy, is tonight Zaxby's indescribably good play.
Yeah, you see his last 25 home games. Good numbers there. Since the start of 2020, he's hit 130 points higher at home. 318 than on the road. I won't mention his road number.
Yeah, we'll just
I mean, you can figure it out, I guess, at home, but I'm not going to say it.
2 opposite field hits for Dansby last night equaled his total of opposite field hits coming into last night's game.
Well, and that home run was just such a effortless swing. You know, and like we talk about, I know it's easier said than done. Everything's easy from up here. But when you see a guy that's striking out like Dansby has been at an alarmingly high rate, which is not typical of him, and you know the struggles, and then you see him drive a ball that way, you know, we all just sit here and say, well, why don't you do that more often? You know, right. So, but, you know, but hopefully it's the kind of thing that maybe he's trying to do it, just hasn't been able to do it. Doing it last night and then again here tonight. You know, whatever they're working on or things that they're you know getting after, maybe they're starting to click a little bit more.
Braves have 4 hits. Dansby has 1 of them. And chase that slider down and away and is struck out. Williams has retired 5 Braves on strikes tonight. And that's how the home 4th starts. Austin Riley, the hitter, a double his first time. That's got to be the frustrating part as a hitter. You know the slider's coming. You know you don't want to swing at it, but you do.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, too, that's, you know, like I've heard so many hitters over the years say, well, you know, I don't want to know what pitch is coming because if I do, I'm more apt to swing at it no matter what. And I think there is some truth in that, even in that situation where you know, or at least in your mind, you're thinking, all right, he's going to throw me a slider right here. And then you see slider out of his hand, but then you forget to take into account where it is. But you just get so excited because you guessed right.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
So for Dansby, 28 strikeouts. And Riley, the batter, after doubling in the 2nd, he was left stranded when the Braves loaded him up but couldn't break through against Trevor Williams, who's giving the Cubs a big lift tonight. He's pitching well despite the 4 hits. And another slider that Riley didn't chase. It's 1-2. That was tipped in, caught by Contreras. Back-to-back strikeouts and 2 are away. Before Heredia hits, he walked, by the way, his first time up. Let's enjoy a quick message from Racetrack.
For those keeping score at home, Racetrack has too many toppings to count.
Let's see what Heredia can do. He's reached base in 17 of his last 37 plate appearances. What a lift he's given the Braves. Certainly from an offensive standpoint, Tom, but I'm really impressed with how well he's played center field.
Yeah, playing really good center field, which obviously was the main thing you needed. I'm not going to speak for anybody. I don't know if the organization is surprised by what they're getting out of him offensively. I would have to imagine there's a little bit of surprise there. So, that's kind of the icing on the cake. Look, he's getting his opportunity, like we've talked about. Guys get their opportunities and try to make the most of it. So far, he is.
Did he go? That is called a strike at the plate, and Williams just struck out the side. He has punched out 7 Braves through 4 scoreless innings. The duel continues in Atlanta. 150 years of Braves baseball. Coors Light's release limited edition pints. Check it out. The pint features cheers to 150 years messaging printed on the can, as well as the official Braves 150-year celebration logo. The QR code on the side unlocks an augmented reality experience with special prizes. Pints are available in stores across Braves country through the end of June. They are limited edition, Tom, so don't delay. They won't be around all season.
I won't. I'll head out and get some. Not right now, but yeah, maybe on the way out.
After the Braves win the game. Be a good idea. They're especially good if you have something spicy after the game. Matt Duffy leads off for the Cubs. He struck out looking his first time up. This has been a great pitcher's duel. Anderson struck out 5. Williams has punched out 7. They have really done a good job mowing down these 2 offenses in the second game of 4. Hayward and Marisnick to follow in the Chicago 5th. You had some great numbers, Tom, on Ian Anderson in the opening comments about what he's done historically in the first 10 games of his career. Hal Galima found this note: opponent's batting average, first at bat in the game, 281. Second time through the order, 133. As Dansby with the backhand, tricky hop, stayed with it, threw a strike. Number one, do those numbers, looking at them on their face, tell you anything? And if so, what specifically do they tell you, other than obviously he's had better luck the second time through?
Well, I mean, I think that, as you see the funny little hop there, ball jumped up on Dansby and was able to corral it, make a nice throw. I think what it tells you is, and this is a reputation that you want to have as a pitcher, that he gets better as the game goes on. And I think you hear that about a lot of great pitchers. Teams will say, hey, you better get him early or you're not going to get him. And I think for Ian, he gets a little bit sharper, a little bit more confident as the game goes on.
How would you evaluate his recognition of what the hitter is trying to do as to how he goes about his business on the mound?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I think that's a learning process, right? I was not, speaking from experience, I was not very good at that when I was younger. I was so locked into what I was doing that I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to, what a hitter, what the information he was giving me was. I think I started to do more of that when I started having conversations more and more with Greg, and that was a big thing that Greg did. I mean, trust me, I would notice that, hey, I didn't throw too many fastballs in, but when I threw a fastball in and it was on the inner half and a guy jumped out of the plate like it was going to hit him in the ribs.
Ball 4 to Hayward on 4 pitches with 1 out.
I would take note of stuff like that, but I didn't necessarily take note of a foul ball or a swing or stuff like that. So, in fairness to Ian, I don't know how much of that he does, but what I like of what I see out of him is what I said earlier. He's got a really good idea of what his foundation is, and he's really good at going out there and making that the focus of what he does. Like, I don't see him necessarily attacking hitters' weaknesses. He's just doing what he does well.
You don't have to rely on what the hitter's telling you if your stuff's
unhittable.
100, absolutely, right? Absolutely. You know, and I know in a day and age of, you know, people pitching up in the zone and you know, all that, and I can argue that, or I can have a differing opinion on that, but I think Ian is one of the few guys that I've seen who's able to use that upper fastball effectively and get swings and misses and strikeouts, but he's also able to throw that fastball low in the zone where he gets easy ground ball contact. You know, and we talk about pitching to contact all the time. It's hard for guys to do it if you can't locate your fastball, and he can.
Out of play, foul after 5 straight balls from Anderson to the Cubs. Hayward at first with a 1-out walk. Jake Marisnick, the batter, with a 1-1 count. There's a point. That was 95. The most Marisnick can do is foul it straight back. Gets him back in the count. Pitch count reasonable. 58, 36 strikes with 5 strikeouts in the game. 7 ground ball outs. 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, it's hard for some guys to think in terms of pitching to contact. I think I'm surmising, this is my opinion. I think it's hard for guys to come to the concept of pitching to contact, because for them that means they threw the ball down the middle and it's going to get hit hard, right? If that makes sense. Like they don't trust that they can throw it to a spot where it's going to be weak contact.
Hayward started, then stopped, pitched way high to Marisnick.
You know, it was similar to the conversation we had last night with Birdie, from my standpoint. If I got into a game where I had a 5-run lead, or you know, the story Birdie was telling me last night about saying about me being stubborn, I couldn't afford to throw the ball down the middle. I wasn't good enough to do it, right? A lot of these guys have great stuff, but pitching to contact.
Check swing and a miss. Marisnick, strikeout victim number 6. Tommy.
Another great pitch there, expanding the zone, but it's kind of the same. It's the same thought process, right? It's like they equate contact with they've made a mistake over the middle.
Like contact is bad.
Yes, to some extent,
okay,
right? And I think it's because, you know, they don't have the only time they see their fastball getting contact, so to speak, is when it's a bad one. It's over the heart of the plate, and they haven't quite mastered that ability to throw a ball in a location where if you do get contact, it can only be bad contact. Ian's done really well at doing that. He's good at throwing that fastball not only in the upper quadrant for strikeouts, but in that lower part of the strike zone to where he's going to get a ground ball. But it has everything to do with his confidence, knowing if he tries to do that, he's going to do it.
That was the beauty of what you and Greg did, for example, because I think your styles were remarkably similar. You both wanted soft contact. You didn't mind the ball being hit. Number one, you had good defenders behind you, but number two, it made your workload a lot easier.
Sure. I mean, it was, if I could get, you know, throw 3 pitches and get 3 outs, I'd rather do that than have 3 strikeouts.
Of course.
You know, now you go for your strikeouts in certain situations, or if you can get deep into a count, but again, it was just a different philosophy in pitching than it is now.
And that's why it's so fun to watch Ian, because I guess it's safe to say, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, it seems like he's kind of a hybrid in today's game. He has a power game that he can overmatch a lineup if he wants to, but he also has enough movement and deception and control to get that weak contact when he wants it.
Agree. I mean, a guy, you know, it's what makes watching Mike Soroka fun. What I've enjoyed so much about watching him.
On the ground, that is just foul at the bag. That was close. Ian Happ missed an extra base hit by an inch.
But the guy, you know, the guy that always seems to come back to me in my mind in conversations like this is Max Scherzer. You know, Max will be he'll go out there and punch out 11.
Right.
But he's going to get a lot of early count ground balls too.
He can spin the ball and put it where he wants.
So his mentality is he's going out there trying to get easy outs. But if he gets 2 strikes on you, all right, you're mine. You're done.
I'm going to finish you with 1 or 2, not 5 or 6. Right?
Yes.
Well, Anderson's done that tonight. Cubs have 1 base runner, second time through the order, and a swinging bunt after a near double, and that'll take care of Ian Happ and the Cubs. Hayward walks. He's left stranded. Cubs have left 2. We head to the bottom of the 5th.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places. The All-South Highway Safety Team. Play it safe. Slow down. And by Truist. BB&T and SunTrust are now Truist.
Chamber of Commerce weather in downtown Atlanta. Braves and Cubs meeting in game 2. No score. Just one hit allowed by Ian Anderson. Trevor Williams has scattered 4 hits, left the bases loaded in the second, and that's why we're tied 0-0. Anderson leads off for Atlanta and takes a strike. Williams beat the Braves with 4 hits and 1 run over 5 innings. April 17th. Trying to go 2-0 in his career against the Braves. He is pitching a good ball game too. And Anderson chased one up and out of the zone. That's 8 strikeouts. And that ties his career high in punchouts. Top of the order now, Ronald Acuna Jr. First, let's enjoy tonight's Synovus Greatness Made Here feature.
See the Braves' last 11 games versus the Cubs. Good record. This season versus the Cubbies, 7.5 runs a game. That'll get the job done for you. 28 walks in 4 games. Thank you very much. Ozzie hitting .417 against the Cubs since 2019, and Dansby 300 with 3 homers in his last 11 versus the Cubs.
Ronald Acuna Jr. struck out looking, popped out in his last at bat, so he's 0 for 2 tonight. Front door breaking ball called a strike. It's 1-1.
And that fastball that he's been pounding in on him makes that pitch right there really effective.
So pitch 69 was a curveball. Pitch 70 was a slider, and Acuna 1-2 count.
And this is where Williams typically has kind of started to get into some trouble. 3rd time through the lineup. Opponents are hitting .455 off him. So keep an eye on that.
It's a shame Ronald got hurt when he did up in Chicago. He was on an unbelievable roll at the plate for the Braves. And it's so funny. It wouldn't seem like it's a lot, but he had 4 days of rest. Needed it. Don't misunderstand. But just to tick off. As that's taken downstairs, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Like we talked about last night. I mean, look at it. Ronald Acuna was not going to keep that pace up all year long.
No,
right?
And I'm not saying he was.
Right. And you know, you want to let that go as long as it can. But like we talked about.
Fly ball, belted. He's back. Long home run. How far up the bleachers is that going? Sorry, Tom.
No,
that was crushed. 8th home run.
I'm glad that was worth being interrupted. That ball was hammered.
So his first hit since April 17th. Can't wait for the tail of the tape on this one. If Contreras was 450 something, that was every bit of it and maybe more.
But you know, back to my point, like we talked about, you hate to see an injury disrupt a run like that. But you know, you hear teams say it all the time too, right? When teams are going good, they don't want an off day. They just want to keep rolling. And players are no different. When they're going good, they just want to get back out there and just keep it rolling.
481 feet for Acuna. Now let's turn our attention to Freddie Freeman. Again, hit on the elbow running the bases. Swung at the first pitch last time up. Now has a 3-ball, no strike count. You know, something has to be seriously wrong for Freeman to come out of the game. Let's see if he has the hit privilege here with 1 out. So Acuna's second career homer against Williams. puts the Braves in front, and Freddie didn't get that. Full count. Home runs had been a problem for Williams in previous years. Not so much this year. That's only the second home run he's given up.
Yeah, 15 and 55 in the third last year.
And Freddie takes a walk with one out. And to your point, Tom, this part of the order, this time in the order, has also given him some issues. So his second walk by my count. Freeman's at first. Ozuna is the batter. Marcel's hit the ball hard twice. The pitch. He hits it a third time. Bodie doesn't throw it at Freeman this time. And look at him. He was thinking about it.
That was good.
Can smile now. He wanted to pull the trigger.
Yeah, we didn't see it in that shot, but Freddie was waving his finger at him like, don't you dare.
No.
Don't you throw it again.
He dropped it to Kembe on him. So no luck for Ozuna, who stung the ball 3 times, has 1 hit to show for it. Ozzie, the batter, 0 for 2 is he, with a strikeout and a ground out. Acuna with a 481-foot homer with 1 out has given Ian Anderson a run. I distinctly remember a pitcher once saying, give me a run. Worked out pretty well. Ian's got a 1-hitter working. And that just missed, ball 2. Mets and Red Sox tied at 1. Cardinals beating the Phillies 3-1. Milwaukee up 2-1 over Miami. In the East, the pitch. Ozzie, fly ball, well hit toward right. Hayward turns, still going back. It's off the bricks. Good jump by Freddie. Look at him streaking around third. Here he comes. Ozzie Albies doubles off the wall, and the Braves get another 2-out run.
I think Jason Hayward got fooled by that ball a little bit. That line drive type hit right at him. It froze him for a second. It was just enough for him to get caught in between and then not be able to take the carom the way he wanted to and needed to keep Freddie from scoring.
Watch Freddie run the bases. This was Larry Walker-like. Look at how elegantly he cut the bags. And a big hit for Ozzie Albies. His 6th double, his 11th RBI, and Williams now down 2-0. It's another part of Freddie's game I don't think we talk about enough. For a big man, he moves very well, can steal a base, and has always been an excellent base runner.
Yeah, he's just a a complete player. Like I said, I think sometimes we kind of get spoiled by it a little bit watching it day in and day out, but he plays every facet of the game well.
So Williams, after tying his career high with 8 strikeouts, has given up a homer, a walk, a line drive, and a double, and 2 runs.
I told you he struggled the 3rd time through.
You've been on point the last 2 days. Frenchie's going to be Wally pipped here. Doesn't calm down. Swing and a miss for Darno, who's 0 for 2.
Frenchie's going to be worthless when he comes back. He's going to the Kentucky Derby this weekend.
Oh, that's right. Oof. Louisville will never be the same. Wonder what kind of hat he's going to wear. No balls and a strike. And that's off the plate. It's an even count. In the Cubs 6th, the pitcher spot is due first. We'll see how David Ross plays it for Chicago. 1-1 on the ground to second, and a friendly hop. The throw to first is in time, and d'Arnaud and the Braves are done. Ronald Acuna Jr.'s first hit in over a week was a tape measure homer to left center field. His 8th homer of the year, 481 feet away. Fight for the souvenir is on, and the Braves have given Ian Anderson a hug and a 2-0 lead. Thank you very much for that update. Pretty night here in Atlanta. The Braves lead 2-0. That update is important because the Braves will be down in Dunedin for their next series at TD Ameritrade Park, the spring training home of the Blue Jays, where they're playing their regular season games. Eric Sogard is going to come on as a pinch hitter. Williams' night is done after 5 innings and 2 runs. And Anderson just unrelenting in that changeup. It has been on point from the opening bell tonight. Good try, but he missed with it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Final line on Williams: 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. The 8 strikeouts matches a career high. Now it's a 2-2 count. Ryan Tepera is up. He was unavailable yesterday, serving the second of his 2-game suspension. And d'Arnaud took some punishment on that foul tip. Sogard still alive. In fact, Tepera, for his role in that fracas with the Milwaukee Brewers, was originally suspended 3 games. He appealed, had it reduced to 2. Served 1 game in Chicago, served the second one last night, so he's good to go tonight. The 2-2 is in the dirt, and from 0-2 to a full count. Don't want to walk in with this part of the Cubs order coming up. Horner, Contreras, and Bodie. And Chris Bryant not in the lineup tonight. Javi Baez not in the lineup for the Cubs. The pitch is popped into the seats, where a nice crowd is gathered tonight. We had, what, 19,000 here for game 1?
At least that tonight.
50% capacity in Atlanta. Hopefully we'll get to even larger numbers in the days and weeks ahead. Sogard, a good at bat. The 3-2 is bounced foul. This guy's a pest. And he is, as we said, our Nick Green lookalike on the
yes, he is.
Cubs club. Got him, swing and a miss. Change up. 7 strikeouts for Ian Anderson. He comes back to get the Cubs pinch hitter. Beauty. Download the MLB app to get in-game video highlights, live pitch by pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your Atlanta Braves and the rest of the league. Horner 0 for 2. He's played Pepper with Austin Riley twice. That's foul at third. Anderson's career high set last year in strikeouts was 9. That was against the Washington Nationals. Ian's career high in innings pitched is 7. And his season high strikeout total is 7, which he's matched tonight this year. And he adds to that total. Back-to-back strikeouts. That's number 8. That one with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, Tom. Nothing for these guys to eliminate.
No, there isn't. I mean, you saw it that last at bat. You talk about poise and confidence at 22 years old. Get deep into the count. Battle with Sogard. You got a 2-run lead. You don't want to walk the leadoff hitter. So what do? You drop a 3-2 changeup on him. Not many experienced guys in the big leagues are doing that. And then right there, you just come back and blow a fastball right by Horner.
And I'm guessing after that 86-mile-an-hour changeup, that 95 fastball looks like it's 105.
Yeah, at least.
He's throwing a ton of strikes to Contreras tonight. Wilson 0 for 2. Struck out on a high fastball in the first inning, lined out hard to center in the fourth. There have not been many balls hit to the outfield tonight. The Marisnick base hit in the third, and the Contreras line drive. Everything else has been in d'Arnaud's glove or on the infield grass. Anderson twirling a one-hitter. Contreras flexing his back after a big swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Little tapper back to the mound. That should be easy, and it is. 3 up, 3 down for Ian Anderson. He's worked 6 one-hit innings and leads by 2.
Braves lead 2-0, and now my favorite commercial. A quick message from our friends at Landmark.
Hi friends, I'm Chip Carey, in between innings for Landmark Moral. Landmark's hitting it out of the park every day. That's why they're #1. Because nobody beats the Giant. Nobody.
Tom, that's certainly understandable. Live look in from our Xfinity cam on a beautiful night in Atlanta. Ian Anderson pitching a beauty. A one-hitter. And the Atlanta offense behind Acuna and Albies have provided the run-scoring hits. As Trevor Williams is done, Ryan Tepera is on to pitch. Of the problems the Cubs have faced, Tom, in the first 3 weeks, we mentioned this last night, their bullpen ain't one of them. They've got a good relief corps this year.
Yeah, the bullpen's done a good job, and I would suspect David Ross probably pretty happy with that outing from Williams. Gets you into the 6th inning in a tight ball game, and now try to utilize one of your strengths of your club.
Tepera starts with Dansby Swanson, who's 1 for 2 tonight. A second inning single, and he struck out on that slider back in the 4th. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Braves, no runs, 1 hit for the Cubs. Kind of nice to see another team getting 1 hit, not our guys.
Yeah.
On this homestand, still a ways to go tonight. Lots of cutters from the Cubs right-hander. That one a fastball at 93 at the knees, 0-2. No need for soft focus on this beautiful night. And photo of great memory of tonight's action with the Cubs. The pitch. Dansby bounce that to Washu. Kept it in front of him, but was backpedaling on the play. And is hearing it from the Cubs dugout. See, he's mad.
He's going to hear it from the Braves dugout too. Never back up on the wall on the ball, Wash. Come on. You know better than that.
Oh, no balls, 2 strikes for the Brave shortstop. And off the plate. Of the things I miss most because of the COVID restrictions, and understandably so, are the interactions with guys like Ron Washington.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Enjoy going down and clubhouse and talking to those guys, talking baseball. I miss that.
Hopefully that'll be coming back for us soon too. The pitch outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dansby digs back in. He's got it even at 2-2. And that's low. Braves will take a base runner any way they can get it. A little insurance wouldn't hurt in the 6th inning with Riley, Heredia, and then the Braves youngster Ian Anderson scheduled. Said it before on the homestand too. The bottom of the order has gotten on enough to feed the top. That's when the Braves offense has had its best. Early days of the season, it was Acuna and Freeman, and that's about it offensively. That's starting to turn around, and the results are showing it for the Braves. As Dansby hits this ball through the hole, a base hit. Nice comeback for Swanson from a 2-strike count. First hit was up the middle. This one pulled between third and short, and Ryan Tepera gives up a leadoff single to Dansby Swanson.
Yeah, good at bat by Dansby. Hung in there, laid off some tough pitches. Got a pitch coming in on him he could handle, and got it through the hole. Good start to the inning.
Now let's move him over and move him in with Austin Riley, who's doubled in today's game. His first double of the year to go along with a couple of homers. Figured this guy's extra base hit total was going to start to pile up. All of his early hits were singles. Nothing wrong with that. Braves wanted him to split some gaps. Hitting 7th tonight. And takes outside, ball 1. Nice block by Contreras. Ball 2. 2-0 the count. Imagine it's really hard for guys like Austin Riley, Christian Pache, even Ozzie Albies and Acuna when they came up. It's one thing, with all due respect, to coming up for the '88 Braves, who are in the midst of a rebuild, as opposed to coming in, playing big innings and getting big at bats for a team that many are hoping gets back to the NLCS this year.
No, there's no question it's a little bit tougher. You know, I've said it repeatedly as it relates to the pitchers. You know, I'm not going to say it's easier for the position players, but you know, they're going out there getting constant repetitions, playing all the time, what have you, and you're hoping that there's enough offense around them that they don't feel like they have to carry anything. But it's hard. I mean, it's a lot different when you're coming up on a club that's in a rebuild or is having a bad year, and your sole job to go out there is go out and get better. When you got to win, it's tough.
Because even when you are an established major league player with the back of a bubblegum card, it's really hard to win a game here.
Yes.
It's really hard to win a big league game. But one thing you have to love about the Braves, they give their young players a chance, an extended chance at this level. That's the only way they're going to learn. The Braves are hoping Austin Riley's past successes will lead to a big year as he earned the third base job in the spring. There have been no complaints about his effort defensively. And now the bat's starting to come along as the weather heats up and the calendar moves toward May. See if he can hammer a hitter's pitch here. 3 balls and a strike with nobody out. Went for it, didn't get it. A lot of sinker ballers on this Cubs staff. You understand why, with the wind blowing out at Wrigley Field a lot, the thick infield grass there. Those are weapons they need on the north side in Chicago. And sinkers work when thrown well anywhere. Dansby leads. He's going. The pitch is bounced towards short. Braves will stay out of the double play. Dansby picked the right time to take off. He's at second with 1 out. And Guillermo Heredia is coming up. As we told you, he's had good luck against the Cubs. A week ago this past Sunday, part of that big homer barrage against the Cubs, he had a grand slam against Ryan Tepera. And boy, it has been a revelation for the Braves in the bottom of the order, Kelly Kroll. Nice to see Heredia having a good run at the plate.
Yeah, Snit with really high praise for this guy. 7 RBI, 7 runs in 10 games, saying he's done a great job. It's a big hole to fill when you lose 2 outfielders in the span of a couple days. But, you know, he was considered a clubhouse favorite in Tampa. As I said, it's just the makeup, the energy he brings, infectious energy type. And he fits in with the guys here that they've got on the bench, he says. And he goes, the biggest part, though, he's taking advantage of a really good opportunity. And it's been nice to watch him, guys.
Yeah, and this isn't his first go-round in the major leagues. He's had some opportunities in other places. But to Tom's point, he's getting extended playing time here out of necessity, and he's making the most of it. He's our All-State Good Hands feature of the game. That's what Heredia's done as a starter.
Talked about 385, couple homers, couple doubles, 7 RBIs against the Cubs. And he's scoring and driving them in. 7 runs, 7 RBI himself in 10 games. He's been productive.
And the part of Kelly's report that I think often goes unnoticed, Tom, and you know him far better than we do, she mentioned the phrase, he fits right in. You know, when you're a new guy coming to a team that went to the NLCS last year, that's got to be kind of tough on one hand. You do want to fit it. He's done that. His teammates are thrilled with what he brings to that clubhouse. 1-2 pitch is caught on and missed, and Tepera gets a measure of revenge. Heredia is retired on strikes, and the fate of the inning is in the hands of Ian Anderson now with 2 out.
Yeah, and look, that's part of that. That's the real deep dive in terms of putting together a roster for a season, and particularly now in today's game where the injured list gets used a whole lot more than it used to. You constantly got guys coming back and forth, and added in this situation with the Braves, when you're handing center fielder over to a young guy like Pache, you in the back of your mind, you got to plan for a struggle. You hope he doesn't, but you got to plan for it. So if he does struggle and you have to send him back, then you want a guy that's going to come in here and be comfortable with that role. And a guy like Heredia certainly is a guy that they knew was going to do that. You have the added benefit that he's going to fit into the clubhouse, and that's always an important element. But then knowing too, like if worst case scenario you lose both your center fielders and you need somebody to go out there and play, he's a guy that's going to go out there, he's not going to hurt you.
And he played center field in the professional leagues in Cuba. He's done it at the major league level, so this is not a new experience for him. And to your point, the Braves had that guy. They had Ender Inciarte, and the shame of things for Ender, as he pulled a hamstring running the bases, he was swinging the bat. He was starting to get into a role and looked a lot more like the old Ender Inciarte. Hopefully he and Pache will be back at some point soon. Tepera, a nice inning, strikes out Anderson. To the 7th we go. It's Braves 2-0. Ian Anderson's on quite a roll, Tommy. He's got a nice scoreless streak. 13 scoreless innings or thereabouts for the Braves starter. 12 2/3 by our graphic. Very few walks, 12 strikeouts, and tonight he's allowed 1 hit.
Yeah, he's on it. Well, he said it up in New York. He said he felt like things were starting to click a little bit, and he certainly felt something coming, because he's been spectacular tonight, attacking the zone, all his pitches, and really doing what we've become accustomed to watching him do.
Well, he's had his way with David Bodie, who has struck out twice. Both times swinging. Anderson with 8 strikeouts, 1 shy of his career high of 9 set in his rookie season last year. And an interesting note on the scoreboard before the game, Anderson now has thrown more than 50 innings, so he loses what is called prospect status.
No longer a prospect, big guy. Sorry.
Not quite sure what that means.
Well,
he's still a rookie.
When you were in the minor leagues and you were a prospect, you never wanted to go from the prospect list to the suspect list. So he's off the prospect list. Well, he's not a suspect. He's a bona fide star now. So he's
all right. From your lips to God's ears, that's good enough for me. As David Bodie at another 2-strike count and takes that one low. It's 1-2.
Yeah, I guess what is it? 50 innings is the cutoff for being considered a rookie. So once you lose that rookie status, I guess you can't be considered a prospect anymore, I guess.
I don't know. I've never heard of that before. I've never heard a player discussed that way. As Bodie looks high at a mid-90s fastball again, 2-2 the count.
I'm sure Ian's not upset about losing that designation. He doesn't want to be a prospect anymore. No. He wants to be a guy that's a long-time big leaguer.
Maybe an all-star this year. Ground ball. Bodie makes contact. Dansby from the cut of the outfield grass. And there's the first out. 1 up, 1 down, and it's going to be Anthony Rizzo. But first, a quick message from Delta. So Anthony Rizzo is 0 for 2, 2 ground outs. And he was swinging for the downs, didn't get it. You saw the Braves bullpen getting busy. I'm assuming, Tom, that's as much about pitch count and conserving bullets. That's something that everybody in baseball is going to have to be concerned with their young starters especially. As this one is cracked toward that Braves bullpen. Heredia on the run, slows down, says he's got room. That ball died.
Yeah, it did.
I thought Rizzo got him. But he's a long, loud second out.
Yeah, he went a long way to get that ball. Looked good off the bat. But like you said, it just hung up a little bit. Gave Heredia enough time to get to it. Nice play. But now I'm going to say, I think in this situation, look, he's got 89 pitches. It's been fairly unstressful. I think maybe this is just one of those situations where you have somebody up just in case things start to unravel quickly.
Fly ball to right, the 90th pitch of the game. Ronald Acuna Jr. is there, and how apropos is that? Anderson retires 8 in a row. Acuna has hit a homer. That's the subject of the stretch presented by Synovus. Jerome, take it away. After 7 innings of one-hit baseball against the Cubs, 90 pitches. As the Braves bullpen continues to work, one would think that's going to be the end of the line for the Braves young right-hander. He was absolutely terrific if that's the case. Rex Brothers, former Rocky and former Brave, is now on in relief for Chicago. This is Rex's 10th game. Might remember Brothers pitched with the Braves in 2017. He went 4-3 that year and struck out 33 men in 23 2/3 innings. That was in the midst of the Braves rebuild here in Atlanta. He was in 3 games with the Cubs last year, and as I said, begins his 10th appearance tonight. For the attendance tonight, 17,603. For game 2, Ronald Acuna Jr. looks to help the Braves add to their 2-0 lead. A solo homer last time up. His first hit since April 17th. And Ronald's first home run since April 15th against Trevor Rogers of Miami, who's been very good, by the way, for the Marlins. And we'll see early next month. 1 ball, 1 strike. Acuna couldn't check his swing, tried to get out of the way of a slider and didn't like that call. A ball and 2 strikes. Rex Brothers, kind of a symbol of how the game has really changed. Got to the big leagues for the first time in 2011 with the Colorado Rockies. Has never started a major league game. Not one. And did they ring Acuna up? Yeah, they did. That's 2 check swings on Acuna, who can't believe it. He'll take a right turn and head to the Braves dugout. Crowd didn't like that.
Yeah, call it a foul ball. I'm not so sure that bat made contact.
He certainly held up his swing. And Contreras asked for an appeal, and the plate umpire heard something that nobody else in the ballpark did. So Acuna strikes out for out number 1. Interesting night for Freddie Freeman. New walk-up music, a single, a walk, a run scored, and a sore elbow.
Yeah, I was going to say a painful elbow.
And it looks like it's still hurting him. Did you see what he just did? How he adjusted his helmet?
Yeah.
He had to bend down to adjust the cap as he stood in. I'm sure that'll be a subject of conversation after the game. It's how that elbow feels. The pitch. Rex brothers, pride of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, in Braves country. That's that one fouled at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rex will be 34 in December. The pride of Lipscomb University. Now toiling with the Cubs, who are down 2-0. Ian Anderson, a 1-hitter through 7 Sterling innings tonight. 1-2. Did Freddie go? Yes, he did. And that is strike 3, 2 outs. Kelly mentioned Rex brothers, mentioned Lipscomb University. You've got more on that for us.
I sure do. I think any country music fan at home would find it interesting to know his college roommate was Thomas Rhett in the house tonight. Big country music fan. We saw Birdie talk to Cole Swindell last night. And what was really fun about this, on his Instagram account tonight, guys, Thomas Rhett posted a photo saying, people think Ian Anderson and I are related. And the next page was a poll. What do you think? And I'm telling you, side by side, they do kind of look alike.
They do a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. But Tom, tell me, in this situation, you rooting for your roomie or your team, your Braves, beloved Braves?
Well, he's probably hoping his roomie gets a hit, but his team wins.
Fair enough.
I shouldn't say a hit. He's hoping his roomie has a good inning, but he wants his team to win.
1 ball, no strikes for Marcell Ozuna. Marcell, don't hit it to Bodie. He's done that twice in his 3 trips. But he does have a hit. That was a 3rd inning single. Also looking, believe it or not, for his first hit against a left-handed pitcher this year. That is astounding.
Yeah.
He killed him last year. And outside, ball 2. Again, if you're a believer in the law of averages are going to turn at some point for Ozuna against those southpaws. He's too good a hitter to go 0 for 17 against him. Those are the numbers here in game number 23. And the 2-1. That's way outside. Looking at Rex brothers facially, since we're doing the look-alike game. See a little bit of Tyler Flowers in the bearded reliever for Chicago. Hope Tyler's doing well. And watching the game in suburban Atlanta, the pitch. Is a broken bat pop into shallow center. Can anybody catch up? 3 men in action, and it's Horner with a nice play with Marisnick diving close by. Ozuna's out of luck. We head to the 8th. It's Atlanta 2, Cubs nothing.
Braves Baseball is brought to you by Xfinity X5. Experience a powerful and secure Wi-Fi connection for all your devices. And by Yellowwood. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
With Hall of Famer Tom Glavine, Chip Carey back at the ballpark. I remember Tommy in our opening comments saying momentum's as good as your next day's starter. Well, can't pitch much better than Ian Anderson did tonight.
No, you can't. Look, he said it in his last start, and sometimes it's hard to be honestly assess yourself, but he said it after his last start. He felt something coming together a little bit, and boy, was he right. He was spectacular tonight. 7 innings, ties a career high. Personally, I would have liked to have seen him go out there one more, but that's okay. A walk and 8 strikeouts, but really in command of the strike zone. 90 pitches, 59 strikes. You can go 2-1 on balls to strikes. You're going to pitch a good ball game, and that was the case tonight.
So a 7-inning start for Ian Anderson, who gives way to A.J. Minter in the 8th inning. Hayward, Marisnick, and Happ are scheduled. Anderson's 7 innings tonight is the first time a Braves starter went 7 since Anderson's 7-inning performance last September. So this was a long time coming for Ian and the Braves. They're trying to win their 2nd in a row. Hayward is 0 for 1 with a walk.
Well, the best way you can protect your bullpen, both physically and overuse, so to speak, is have guys go out there and eat innings for you. And now you got Morton and Anderson back to back that have been doing a pretty effective job of doing that.
So now the key is for the Braves bullpen, you got to throw strikes.
Yeah, that's the key. It's been a struggle for the Braves. You know, that's one of the glaring things that jump out at you is the number of walks. So got to do a better job, no question.
And Minter's promptly fallen behind Jason Hayward. 2 balls, no strikes. Braves bullpen got it done last night with Will Smith picking up the save. Atlanta saved 6 of 9 opportunities this month. 44 walks, though, is what you keep an eye on. 2-1. And on the ground, Freddie Freeman backpedals. He's going to have to race to the bag and beat his buddy Hayward, and he did by a quarter step and a slide. That was a foot race between Minter and Hayward, and Freddie recognized he had to bust it to the bag, and he got there just in time.
Well, that's the trouble you have sometimes with left-handed pitchers that fall off the mound to the third base side. Minter does that. Jason got a couple of steps head start on him out of the box. Freddie recognized it and made a great play.
9 straight Cubs have been retired. Hayward was their last base runner with a 5th-inning walk. Jake Marisnick, the hitter, he's got their only hit. That was a leadoff single in the 3rd. Showed bunt, took a strike. Here's a look at our T-Mobile coverage cam. Ian Happ is the man on deck. Two nothing Braves. Were in the 8th. There's the changeup that Minter added last year. Mid-90s fastball, a hard curveball, which looks like a cutter or a slider, but it's technically a curveball. And now the changeup that Josh Tomlin helped teach him during the intermission before he resumed last July. The pitch is fought off and back to the screen. 97 miles an hour. Minter had a great year last year. 22 games, an 0.83 ERA. He gave up just 2 earned runs. It was the 2nd lowest ERA among left-handed pitchers in the game, with a minimum of 20 innings pitched. And he did indeed credit Josh Tomlin for not just the changeup, but for helping him really relearn how to pitch, not just throw.
And we talked about it a little last night, right? That's part of that year he had last year as part of the evaluation process, and probably why you let a couple of those guys in the back end of the bullpen go, because you feel like a guy like this is going to step up. He's ready to step up and do it.
And Marisnick is down on strikes. Minter has his first. 9 Cubs have whiffed in the game, and Happ the hitter. Well, that pitch has all the characteristics of a slider. You can see the cement mixer, the dot in the middle. And it sure was effective for out number 2. So Happ hits. He's 0 for 2 tonight. And right now he is really struggling at the plate. Five for his last 36. If Happ can reach, Chris Bryant's grabbed a bat, sore biceps and all, and he would pinch hit for Tepera. Let's worry about him or someone else in the 9th. In Happ, 1 ball, 1 strike, bases empty. No swing. Got the corner. It's 2-2.
Little backdoor slider there, and that's, you know, that's a good addition for AJ. He's so much against righties. Hard in fastball, hard cutter. Now he's going that fastball changeup away and that backdoor cutter. It's a good sequence.
That missed for a full count. Big pitch in the game with the Cubs up 2 and a hot hitting Chris Bryant on deck. Grand slam here last night.
Well, this is where, you know, you almost have the mentality, all right, see how far he can hit it. It's a 3-2 count. You got a 2-run lead. You don't want to walk him. Here, go ahead and hit it.
Instead, he got strike 3, and Minter's fired up. 3 up, 3 down. Braves look for insurance in the home 8th.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Synovus, the bank of here, and by Lexus.
A lot of smiling faces here at Truist Park tonight. Nothing better than ballpark burgers, French fries, and those great kids giveaways. Every Sunday at Truist Park, we treat the kids. Even the Miller family, Mike and Lisa, enjoy the game. They love the Sunday games too. This year we've got the Ozzie chain, the Acuna Jr. mini bobblehead, the Blue Beanie, Acuna Jr. lunchbox, and more. I know Mike Miller, our great director, always has his eyes on a full lunchbox. Go to Braves.com/giveaways for all the information. Great lively crowd tonight. Brandon Workman is on for the 2nd straight game. He'll face the 4, 5, 6 hitters for the Braves, who enjoy a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, Workman got roughed up a little bit last night in 1 inning of work. Gave up a couple hits, 3 runs, including the homer to Freddie.
So the old get back on the horse after you've fallen off philosophy, as this one is scorched toward left center field. Marisnick on the run, still going to get there. It's off the base of the wall, and Ozzie Albies has a long leadoff double. He's starting to hit the ball to all fields, which is a great sign.
Yeah, that ball had some carry on it. That just kept slicing away from Marisnick and ran out of room. Good start to the inning.
You can just sense by watching these guys from afar, their reactions on the field, Tom. There's a growing sense of confidence that they are getting closer and closer to getting back to 2020 offensive production.
Well, look, I mean, I don't want to
That one's on the ground. Productive out. Perhaps if they can make the play at first, they can. Bodie almost boxed that. Darno, first pitch, gets Ozzie to third with one out.
You know, I don't want to beleaguer the point, but you know, like we've talked about, there's too much history there, too much of a track record to think this team's not going to hit. You know, I mean, they're going to. There's no way that up and down the lineup these guys are all going to struggle the way that they are right now, or have been, and slowly but surely they're coming out of it. And that's where it helps to have some veteran guys that have been around, because when you're a young guy, you're very result oriented, and it's not to say that you're not as a veteran, but when you're not getting the results you want, it's a little bit easier to trust the process, and I think these guys are doing that.
Infield comes in for Dansby Swanson, who's got a couple of hits in 3 tries. Yeah, and that's, I think, a great point. Process over outcome, especially when you have a track record. Yeah, Brian Snickers has been unfailingly consistent. His message is, we're going to hit. He believes it. I think by extension these guys believe it too.
Agree. I agree.
Some history tonight for Ian Anderson, as he went 7 innings with 1 hit allowed. As this one's lined into right field, a big insurance run is driven home for Dansby Swanson. Another opposite field hit, and Atlanta works over Workman again. It's 3-0.
Old school baseball right there. Get him on, get him over, get him in. Nice leadoff double by Ozzie. Good at bat by Darno, moving him over, and then good job by Dansby. Got a slider a little bit up over the plate, stayed with it. Base hit, RBI.
So Riley hits with a runner at first. Braves add on 3-0 on 9 hits. Dansby takes off. He's going to steal second base. Got the hand in just ahead of the tag. He got a great jump, and that was a fantastic throw from Contreras. I'm surprised he made it as close as it was. David Ross thinking about a challenge.
Yeah, Dansby got a huge jump.
So he's 1 for 2 in stolen bases. Atlanta looks for another run with Riley up there and 1 out. So the history for Ian Anderson. He becomes the first pitcher in the live ball era, which is since the 1920 season, to have 3 starts of 6 innings and no more than 1 hit allowed in the first 11 games. 3 of his 11 were 1-hitters. Sharply hit to short. That ball is booted. Horner had it play him again. He couldn't get his feet settled. And Atlanta's in business, 1st and 3rd with 1 out. We'll see how that's scored. E6.
Yeah, that's E6. Ball was hit hard, but that's a play Horner's got to make. He let the ball play him again. Look like he got his feet a little tangled up. Got him in a little bit off balance. And then the ball just ate him up.
Cubs had entered this series 2nd in fielding percentage in the National League. They've now made an error in the set. The Braves made 1 last night. So Sandoval is on deck. Heredia's in the box. Another big run 90 feet away for the Braves, who lead 3-0. And Contreras with a great stop. Look, the offense looked good tonight. It flowed. They got their hits. Took advantage of most of their opportunities. But the story for me, Tom, is Ian Anderson. His 3rd career start. 6 or more innings, 1 or fewer hits.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, you can't say enough about the kid. He's been really good. Tonight he was fantastic.
Fastball was good. Changeup was excellent. curveball was just enough, but he didn't really have to throw that too often.
No, I mean, he's predominantly fastball changeup guy. He's bringing that curveball along, making it a little bit more of a weapon for him. But, you know, like I said, 90 pitches, 59 strikes. You're 2-to-1 balls to strikes, or strikes to balls, I should say. Then typically you're going to pitch a really good ball game. You're able to go out there and, you know, locate 2 pitches, you're going to have a good game. You can locate 3, you're going to have a really good game. And he did both of those things tonight.
And is in line to win this game for Atlanta. He's currently 1-0 with a 3.27 ERA at the start of game 2. Reddy has walked once, struck out twice. He's down to his last strike against Brandon Workman. Floated over just a bit low. 2-2. Boston trying to help the Braves out tonight. They lead the division leading Mets 2-1. That game is late in New York. Atlanta started action a game and a half off the division lead. The pitch. Strike 3 called, a late call. And Heredia has the hat trick. He didn't think much of that.
Yeah, Workman was a little upset that either he didn't get the call on the pitch before, that was in disbelief. Heredia didn't swing at it. Came back with it. Got the call that time. I think the other pitch was probably a better pitch that he didn't get the call on. Not that it was a strike, but.
So Pablo Sandoval will bat for A.J. Minter, who worked a scoreless inning with 2 strikeouts. Sandoval has had a great first month. Sandoval with 3 homers in a pinch. The April record is 4. Led by Uribiel Durazo, who used to play for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Sweet swinging first baseman out in the desert. Only the Giants have hit more pinch hit homers this year than the Braves. Boy, the Giants off to a great start. He threw another shutout yesterday. The pitch. Sandoval, line drive, a base hit left center, scores a run. Dansby comes home. Riley goes first to third, and Pablo Sandoval helps the Braves double the lead with a 2-run 8th. That guy was born to hit a baseball.
Yeah, he was. A pretty good pitch. Good breaking ball. Maybe caught a little bit more of the plate than Workman wanted, but Pablo stayed back on it and let it travel a little bit and drove it into left center field. Beautiful piece of hitting.
So the Braves touch up Brandon Workman yet again. Here's Acuna. Home run was the first run of the day. Back in the 5th inning. A mammoth 481-foot blast. So the error at short looming large in the inning for the Cubs. As that gift wraps another run. 10 more hits for the Braves. First time this year they've had double-digit hit games in consecutive days. Another sign of good things coming. A win tonight. Braves get back to 500 at home. That would be 11-12 on the year, with 2 more with the Cubs coming up. You can understand the care with which Workman is facing Acuna. He's fallen behind Ronald, 3 balls, no strikes, with big lead. It's close. He's swinging. Strike zone's gotten pretty big here in the late innings.
Yeah, it has a little bit. That's the proverbial 3-0. That's a strike.
And an appeal at first. He swung. Acuna was rung up on what he thought was a phantom foul tip last time. Now on this pitch, yeah, he went around.
He went, yep.
So Sandoval will get a head start with 2 outs from first and a 3-2 pitch. There he goes. And it's fouled away. Jacob Webb is up in the Braves bullpen. Will Smith was up and throwing, I believe, as well. The lead now too big for a save. I would assume it would be Webb first when the Cubs come up in the 9th. But we'll see about that. The pitch. And Acuna flips the bat down. There's ball 4. And the Braves have him loaded, and Freddie Freeman the hitter. Tommy Hotovy is the Cubs pitching coach. He's out to give Workman a breather. And as they chat, let's enjoy a quick message from Truist. So Workman had some trouble last night. Freddie Freeman is going to come up with the bases loaded. Braves extend the lead. It's 4-0. Freddie singled in the first, flied out in the third, walked and scored in the 5th, and swung and missed in the 7th. Atlanta also loaded the bases in the 2nd inning, but were unable to break through against Trevor Williams. Riley, Sandoval, and Acuna are the Braves base runners. Remember, it was Freddie Freeman last night that hit that big homer against Workman. He's now 4 for 4 against him with 2 homers.
Yeah, Workman tried to pitch him inside and made a mistake. I'd love to see him hit a homer, but I'd really like to see him hit one in the gap and see if Ronald can catch Pablo around the bases.
Well, the Kentucky Derby is coming up. That would be a horse race. And now Workman has to throw a strike, or Freddie Freeman will earn a base on balls and an RBI too. This isn't like Buck Showalter walking Barry Bonds with the bases loaded, but it might end up being the same result, knowing their head-to-head history. Freddie's still in the driver's seat with the shift on. The pitch is a bases loaded walk. So Atlanta cashes in the Horner error. 3rd run is in the inning. Back-to-back walks. David Ross didn't want to, but he has to go get Brandon Workman as Atlanta's plated 3 more runs in the 8th. Atlanta has not been kind to Brandon Workman or the Cubs so far. It's now 5-0 in game 2. Braves extend the lead. It is 5-0. Braves baseball is brought to you by Truist.
BB&T and SunTrust are now Truist, together for better.
There's Dan Winkler. He's on to try to retire Ozuna and stop this Braves 8th inning rally. Braves and Truist are treating essential and frontline workers to the best seats in the house. Front row for the frontline rewards. Braves country's frontline heroes with front row seats every home game this season. To nominate a frontline or essential worker for this VIP experience, visit braves.com/frontline. Dan Winkler, a former Brave. He's in his 11th game. Winkler pitched the 8th last night and retired the Braves in order. On a line out and 2 groundouts. Let's see if Ozuna can help the Braves finish this inning with a flourish. They've got 3 runs so far. They've done that on 3 hits, 2 walks, and an error. Tom, will it be as exciting for you if Ozuna gets a single that Acuna chases down Sandoval from second, not first?
Yeah, that might be kind of fun. Yeah.
Hope that happens for Marcell, who's hit the ball hard a couple times tonight. Had a good cut there at a cutter. It's 1-1. Ozuna, 2 hits in the series, 8 hits against the Cubs. In the first 5 games, his 3rd inning knock snapped an 0 for 14. He's the 9th man to come to the plate. High fly ball hit toward left, but Happ is there, and that will retire the side. 9 come to the plate. 3 Braves score. A big RBI hit for Pablo Sandoval. From Truist Park tomorrow night, it's always a treat to watch Huascar Ynoa pitch. This youngster has opened a lot of eyes. Kyle Hendricks got hammered in Chicago. 4 first-inning home runs for the Braves. So that'll be a fun matchup, Tommy. Contrasting styles collide at 6:30 on Bally Sports South. It's game 3 of the series. And our player comparison brought to you by Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Yeah, you know Hendricks is going to want to bounce back from that start. He's better than that. He's going to want to show that. Ynoa, I've been impressed with the kid. He's thrown the ball well. You know, a couple hiccups here and there, but for the most part, he's been on the attack, and another guy who's gotten an opportunity and making the most of it.
Well, perfect opportunity for Jacob Webb to get on a bit of a roll. He's pitched in some tough luck, as you see. This is his 6th game. And he will face Tony Walters, who will pinch hit for Dan Winkler. Remember, Chris Bryant was on deck in the 8th inning in a 2-0 game. But A.J. Minter struck out Ian Happ. And Bryant is back in the dugout. 5-0 Braves. We are in the 9th. 3 outs to get. And Walters skies one down the left field line. That's slicing into foul ground. Strike 1. Tom, I'm really looking forward to your analysis of the game tomorrow night, not only with what you see from Huascar Ynoa, but fans who followed Kyle Hendricks say he's Greg Maddux-esque in his approach on the mound.
When he's on his game, there's similarities.
So it'll be a fun matchup tomorrow night. 0-1. Right there, a strike. It's 0-2. That's humping away. A ball and 2 strikes. Boston did help the Braves. They beat the Mets 2-1. The final today. There's no chance for the Braves to pick up a game on the division leaders. Miami's losing. The Phillies are losing, and the Nationals were losing. This could be a very productive night as Webb gets Walters to swing and miss at a changeup. That's 12 up, 12 down for the Braves staff. I've got him with 11 strikeouts in total tonight.
Seems right. Yep, that was the 11th, according to my book.
Well, I can't count, so I'll go with yours. So we'll say 11. That's fine.
You don't have that many fingers.
No, I don't. Or that high of an IQ, apparently. Here's Horner, and that's in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. 12 up, 12 down. 11 Braves strikeouts. That's what got me messed up. Braves have a nice, impressive run going. 59-0 when they lead after 8 innings in their last 59 tries.
That's a good record.
And a strike evens the count for the Cubs shortstop. Braves offense put up 10 hits in back-to-back games. They left 10 on base. Played a clean game defensively. But when you look at the Cubs hit column, that tells you all you need to know about this one tonight. Ian Anderson, a 7-inning, 1-hitter. And a career high tying, or I should say one off of his career high in strikeouts with 8. Webb ready. His 2-1 pitch is on the ground, foul past third. Familiar face in the third base coaching box for the Cubs, Willie Harris, former Brave. First the 2-2 pitch. It's bang foul. Chance for Willie to see another one whistle by. There he is, the pride of Cairo, Georgia. Last time we saw the Cubs in Chicago, I think Jeff Francoeur was talking about his 5-for-5 or 6-for-6 game where he used a souvenir bat.
Yeah, I remember hearing that story. It's pretty crazy.
The 2-2 is fouled away again. One of the great players that have come out of the state of Georgia. Remember Jackie Robinson from Cairo, Georgia. Willie Harris from Cairo, Georgia. Buster Posey, Jason Hayward, among others. The 2-2 pitch is lined to right. Nico Horner putting up a 9th inning fight for Chicago. The all or nothing Cubs offense, and very little in ways of answers against Ian Anderson tonight. Full count. Ground ball. Dansby to his left, and it sneaks under his glove. So Horner reaches with 1 out. That ball was hard hit. Dansby got there. It just leaked under the leather. And a base runner with one out in the inning for Chicago.
Yeah, ball stayed down a touch. It was almost like he was kind of starting to get ready to make his turn and make a throw and didn't catch the ball first.
So they'll give Horner a hit. He's 1 for 4. And Contreras, the batter, he's 0 for 3. So Horner reaching is the first base runner since the 5th inning for the Cubs. Let's see if Webb can pitch around that. No balls and a strike to Contreras. Braves have had him betwixt and between. He hasn't hit the changeup, and he's chased the high fastball tonight. Freeman plays behind Horner at first. The pitch is too high. Ball 2. Jacob got a 5-run lead. Don't have to be too fine.
No, let that power sinker work and get your ground ball.
There was a time many years ago when someone sitting in this seat once said, as soon as Jeffrey Leonard hits into a 6-4-3 double play, the Magnificent Seven will be coming your way. I'd like to say as soon as Wilson Contreras hits into a 6-4-3 double play, Braves Live presented by Xfinity will be coming your way.
I'm all for that.
That would end the game. Or a strikeout. That'll work too. Webb has his second strikeout. And now David Bodie is the final Cubs hope. Contreras strikes out for the second time. He's got 28 of them. As we said, Cubs have a lot of power. When they hit home runs, they're awfully tough to beat. But when they don't make contact, they have struck out at an alarming rate. So one more man to get. That's Bodie. He struck out twice. So I think if I did my math right, 11 plus 1 is 12, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's how many times the Cubs have struck out tonight. So to put that in simplest terms, that's 4 innings of no contact. That's a tough way to win.
Well, it is, but I mean, it's, you know, it's the way of the game now. I mean, strikeouts are plentiful around the league. And everybody's, you know, you keep hearing, oh, strikeouts don't matter, strikeouts don't matter. I promise you, fans at home that are watching their teams not play well and striking out 12 to 13 times a night, it matters. They don't want to watch it.
Let's see if Webb can finish with a baker's dozen. 17,000 Braves fans standing as one at Truist Park. Webb a strike away from striking out the side in the ninth. Bodie awaits the 0-2, and it is a baker's dozen. Swing and a miss. The Braves, 1 hit, make it 2 hit the Chicago Cubs. Ronald Acuna Jr. with a long home run. Ozzie Albies had a big game at the plate, but the story was Ian Anderson, 7 innings, Tom, of 1-hit shutout ball. He was magnificent.
Yeah, he was. You know, we talked about it in the open. We talked about how he felt his game in New York was, and that something kind of clicked a little bit for him, and hard to argue with what he did tonight. He was on his game. He was dominant and fun to watch.
Anderson's ERA drops to 2.48. And if the Phillies fall in St. Louis with the Braves victory tonight, they could be a half game out of first place in this very tight National League Eastern Division race. New walk-up music for Freddie Freeman. Same results for the Braves and Ian Anderson in Game 2 against the Cubs. They beat them again. 5-0 is tonight's final score. Join us for Game 3 of the set tomorrow, 6:30 your airtime on Bally Sports South with Braves Live. Speaking of which, that's coming up next. For Tom Glavine, for Kelly Kroll, and our great crew, I'm Chip Carey. Braves Live presented by Xfinity is coming up next.